Okay, everybody, it's time to learn from our mistakes with Kryptonite Bloopers. Will, I'll go first. So there's something about my personality traits that it can be a little too assertive sometimes. I told my wife one time that if it didn't matter for money, the job I would want would be crossing guard or hall monitor because I like to sort of pay attention to stuff. So, humble brag, we are in the train station in Lisbon on our way to Porto. And of course, there's a train strike because there always is. And the line to get information it's an hour to get up there. We make it to the top. And this, I'll tell you now, super nice young Portuguese man comes up to the front and he's like, now he doesn't speak English. I just have to ask a question. And I looked at him and I said, everyone on this line wants to just ask a question. And anyway, so I think he said something in Portuguese and the guy told him and he left. Anyway, I'm feeling all superior. I'm looking at the young lady behind me who was stressing that somebody was cutting in. Anyway, 10 minutes later, we're boarding the train. Guess who's in front of us? My friend. Yeah, exactly. And not only is he in the same train car as us, he's in the seats in front of us. So I just felt like a total ding dong, and that's my blooper.
It's a lovely blooper. My blooper would be something that you brought up earlier in the banter about my lack of a green screen behind me. If you study my profile, my detail orientation is high. Which can mean that I'm not a huge fan of delegation, and perhaps I should delegate the acquisition of a green screen as opposed to trying to own it because I clearly don't have it. But I will fix that, Mr. Lane. Jared, the floor is yours.
Jeez, Bloopers trying to do too much at once. Early in running a community, probably as early as middle of the time I've run the community, not necessarily just day one. There's a lot of good ideas. That you want to encourage engagement. That tends to be like a North Star metric for communities or social platforms, right? Like weekly active members or users, daily active members or users. And there's a lot of good tools and a lot of good ideas. Meeting with like all of them and trying to use a lot of them ends up getting you nowhere. Ends up getting each initiative, whether it's like member matching or a channel for like people to ask for help with things, because there's an app plugin that connects. So like essentially each one of these tools that integrates with Slack has like a whole nother
integration to it. Yeah.
As like a whole nother UI to like go to, like a whole other dashboard. So like having our members go to like 2 or 3 or 4 logins isn't really a good experience, let alone trying to get it off the ground. So what I realized is one thing at a time, if that, and 2, building things with Typeform. Like, let's talk about a job board, not using like a third-party job board, just like simplifying and having like, hey, what's your job on a Typeform, and having it like go to an Airtable, or go to a WordPress site, which we're building out now. That simplicity is going to get it off the ground much easier, help you focus much more, and frankly, it might be slightly harder to get to go, which is fine. Because if you never get started, it's probably ends up being a good thing.
I like it.
And if you do get started, it's because you truly, truly want to. So members are more focused. And yes, there's some complaints. Why don't you have this now or whatever? And we just say it's coming. And when it comes, it's going to be amazing.
I love it. Coming soon was going to be the name of our podcast, but we picked work in progress. Jared, thank you. We'll see you next week.
Jared, enjoyed it. Thank you, John.
Bye.